to this game between Duke and Carolina, part of Throwdown Thursday. This, of course, may be the biggest game of the ball in the rivalry week, presented by Cisco Systems. And amazingly enough, we have had a ton of turnovers already. 2 on Duke, 2 on North Carolina. A minute and 23 seconds into the game. Sheldon Williams with the only basket of the night, and Roy Williams, Dick, this is his first time as a part of this rivalry as a head coach.
It is one of the great rivalries of all of sports. Bottom line is, you think about great rivalries in college basketball, this is the head of the class.
Duke has won 12 of the last 14, and J.J. Redick gets free for a 3, and it's 5-0 Blue Devils as we have yet another turnover. So Mike Krzyzewski has to love what he's seeing from his team. They've only lost once. That was to Purdue back in November. They're the #1 ranked team in the country.
7 consecutive years they've been #1 at some time. But remember this, they have lost to Carolina 5 times during Coach K's era as a #1 team in America.
Rashad McCants with a steal, and then he is fouled by Duhan. Roy Williams in his first year as head coach here at his alma mater, North Carolina. He beat Mike Krzyzewski and Duke just last year at Kansas in the Sweet 16.
A little different lineup in that game. You had 2 guys by the name of Heinrich and Collison. Collison, as you look at the lineup right here for North Carolina, Collison had 33 points, 19 rebounds, and Heinrich just stymied. I mean, he stymied J.J. Redick. Redick in that game was 1 for 12 shooting threes.
McCants at the line, looking to get North Carolina going. And they will finally get a point. 2 minutes in. Let's check the Duke lineup. Lawal Dang in the starting lineup. We're going to see Sean Dockery and Chadwick Randolph off the bench for Duke. Neither team, Dick, will probably go much deeper than 7.
Well, the bottom line is, when you look at North Carolina, defense has been their nemesis. They have really not played well on the defensive end in the ACC. In fact, in the ACC, Dan, teams are shooting better than 50% against North Carolina. They cannot allow Duke to shoot better than 50% and have a chance to win.
J.J. Redick doing a nice job drawing the foul on Melvin Scott. Redick, the best free throw shooter maybe in the country. 69 out of 71 so far this year. We asked him what his secret is on the line.
When I go to the free throw line, all I'm saying to myself is this shot is going in. I go ahead and do my routine. I have the same routine every time, 3 spins and 3 dribbles.
And actually, everybody thought it was on Melvin Scott. It was on Redick. It was a charge. That was not on Redick. It was on Scott. I guess they called it before the shot. Looked like he was up in the air, and he was trying to get a shot off, but they said it was down on the floor. Tough call if you're Duke.
Yeah, it was prior to the shot.
Yeah.
We're way up here, Dan. People have to know
up in the
way
rafters.
up. And we're on the baseline. We're not even at center court.
Dang draws the double team. Now the fadeaway, a little bit short on the rebound for Sean May, when a game earlier this year had 21 rebounds for the Tar Heels.
Well, you know, North Carolina, one of the great offensive teams in America, 3rd in the nation in scoring points. They just have to defend. On the other side, Duke's strong point is their defense, their commitment. They have allowed teams not to get into the 60s. It's amazing. They're giving up about 59 points a game.
Boy, Carolina plagued by turnovers, 4 already. 55th time these teams have met when they're both ranked in the top 25. They are dead even. Last year in this building as an unranked team, North Carolina defeated Duke by 3, but later on they lost to them in the ACC tournament semifinals. Duhan driving, and the rebound to May again.
Nobody rotated over. Duhan should have had an easy layup in that scenario.
Now the pull-up jumper from just inside the line, a little bit strong for Felton. Rebound McCants.
Felton, an outstanding point guard. McCants, a big scorer. He is leading the ACC in score at 18.9, and his numbers even get higher if you just evaluate him in ACC competition. Better than 21 a game.
Dang at the other end beats Jawad Williams to the basket.
One of the real problems for North Carolina, they don't rotate over and give help. Defense is a team commitment. People have to help one another. And right there's another example of Dang getting to the basket and nobody's rotating over.
Foul on Williams. Let's check out the Star Watch. 2 point guards, Dick, as good at quarterbacking a team as anybody in the country.
Well, you're not going to win big without great quarterback play and guys that really are an extension of the coach. Both guys do it a little differently. Felton is a dynamite guy in penetration, creating opportunities. but doesn't play off the ball defensively as well as Duhan, who plays the ball tough and plays well off the ball.
Well, one of the keys in a game like this always take the crowd out of the game. Duke's off to a pretty good start in that regard. McCants, an open jumper from the baseline. 8-3 Duke.
He has become a big-time scorer. Really has gotten effective right after the Kentucky game. Had a meeting with Roy Williams. They were very unhappy as you look at the field goal numbers here with his play prior to that. He's been a different player offensively.
J.J. Redick and a block by Jackie Manuel, and now he's going to get an easy one to the other end.
Well, he deserves it. He made the block shot. He's a defensive player. They got him matched up on Redick, and that creates Uncle Mo. Look at the blue in the house tonight, baby, and it's Carolina blue.
Ewan off to Redick, trying to create a little bit of space, and he turns it over. Now it's McCants.
Oh, Jam City, a little D there, Dan. They have really played D the last two possessions.
What a turnaround in the last minute and a half.
Well, Coach K told us, he said, we're going to get their best defensive effort tonight.
And they turn it over again. Carolina gets it back.
Who said they can't play D? Who said they can't play D? How are teams shooting better than 50% in the ACC and that so? Roy Williams has got to really be pleased with their defensive effort early, Dan.
Coming up, how the Heels have done against number ones.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball, presented by the Mass Mutual Financial Group. You can't predict, you can prepare. And in part by Mazda. There's a soul of a sports car in everything we make. And Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Well, no matter what anybody says, this is not just another game on the schedule. Throwdown Thursday, presented by Mass Mutual, maybe the biggest game of the rivalry week, presented by Cisco Systems. Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale with you. Not only is it Duke and Carolina, but Duke comes in ranked #1 in the country. What does this game mean?
Well, you know, Dan, 12 times they've been #1 in America, playing against North Carolina under the guidance of Coach K. They have beaten North Carolina 7 of the 12 times. They have lost 5 times when being #1 against the Tar Heels. Man, this place is special. It's been absolutely dynamite here for the last 2 hours. Fans really getting into it.
North Carolina and UCLA, more wins over #1 teams than anybody else in the history of college basketball. Don't forget, Carolina knocked off Connecticut earlier this year on this floor when they were #1.
They've been very effective at home. The problem's been away from home.
Boy, Sean May, a couple of golden opportunities, and he couldn't convert.
You know what? And he usually gets frustrated when he misses easy opportunities, and he breaks down defensively. Hey, don't forget, they not only beat Connecticut, they beat Georgia Tech here. They beat North Carolina State here, who had a great win last night with that comeback over Wake Forest.
May with another rebound, finds Manuel, who's really given them a spark off the bench. David Noel. And his 4-footer won't go down.
David Noel was out here along with Melvin Scott about 6 o'clock. I asked him, I said, how big is this game? He said, this is what you come to North Carolina for. You dream of the matchup against those guys from Durham, North Carolina.
Duke was up 8-1, a 6-0 run right now for the Tar Heels. Dang draws the double team and scores right over the top.
You talk about versatility. He had that big game in that comeback against Georgia Tech, 22 and 10 rebounds.
5 for Luol Deng. Duke leading by 3. Duke 18-1, Carolina 13-5. As Carolina turns it over again. That was their biggest problem the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game.
0-3, Roy Williams' club in the ACC on the road. As you look at the turnover numbers, both clubs with 5. Duke is forcing about 17 turnovers a game, and they're blocking shots at a record rate. The record is 6.3 a game back during the Elton Brand era. This club is going at 7.3.
Sean Dockery, Shavlik Randolph on the floor for Duke. Randolph with a nice fake. Crowd thought he traveled. And Duke retains possession with plenty of time on the clock.
Randolph has really been effective. He was effective against Georgia Tech, against Florida State. They had a tough game with Leonard Hamilton's club.
Now the shot clock down to 7. Duhan forcing his way inside. And a fresh 35 now for the Blue Devils, and Dockery's going to pull it out.
The one breakdown for North Carolina is they're allowing too much penetration. They're allowing the guys to beat them off the dribble and get in the lane.
Duhan gets inside, has it blocked. Reddick fires a bullet into Randolph inside, and it goes in.
Nice look by Reddick. They're getting too many guys and opportunities in that 3-second area, Dan.
12-7 Duke. Last 2 buckets have gone to the Blue Devils after the 6-0 run by the Tar Heels. Duke alone at the top of the ACC. NC State, don't count them out, 6-2. Carolina needs a win to stay in the pack.
Well, I'll tell you this, Herb Sendik's done a great job with that NC State team. Julius Hodge has really played well. Marcus Melvin, a very dangerous basketball team who had a great opportunity to beat North Carolina here, but the Heels were able to hang on. Big play by McCants at the end helped.
Melvin Scott for 3.
He was working on that 3, man. If you work, a lot of good things are going to happen. He was out here at 6 o'clock working on that jumper.
Players got out here, some of them, as Dick said, 3 hours early in anticipation of this monster game tonight here in Chapel Hill. Deng, very assertive early offensively, and he draws the foul, bullying his way to the bucket.
You know, Monday, you and I saw, as you look at Coach K, we saw Charlie Villanueva. He played with Deng in high school, and Villanueva is going to be a special player at UConn.
The foul on Byron Sanders of North Carolina. Deng already with 5 points. Heads to the line for the Blue Devils. What a freshman season he is having.
We saw the standings, and I firmly believe the ACC the last 2 years have had 4 teams in the tournament. I've got to believe they're going to get 7 this year. Maryland's going to find a way and win enough games to get in, and certainly Florida State with what they have done, beating Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Wake Forest.
In your opinion, hands down, the strongest league in the country this year?
Oh, without question. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Deng misses a couple of free throws. Carolina can tie or take the lead on this trip.
I think McCants has got to take advantage of his ability to post inside. We've said it so often that he likes to play on a perimeter and can shoot the 3, but he's also a very effective low post player as well.
North Carolina turns it over yet again. 6 already. And Duke, of course, when you think of Duke, you think of the defense before you think of the offense. They're holding teams under 60 points per game this season. Let's look inside. Williams, and Duke goes up by 4.
Can't allow him to get that kind of position down and deep. Williams has certainly been a major factor all year, give them balance.
Great drive by Felton, frees up May for the easy deuce. His first points of the game.
He's as good as anybody in America with penetration. He's third in the nation in assists, and if he gets penetration and you give help, it's a layup.
14-12 Duke, more than 8 minutes in. Nice lob inside, Sheldon Williams, and he will go to the line.
He has really improved as a player. He's become such an effective interior player, and that just helps the perimeter game of Duke. It stretches the defense as well.
Sean May is called for the foul, his first, team 4th. How big is the battle between Sheldon Williams and Sean May tonight?
Well, you and I, we were talking to Roy Williams about it, and he agreed it's one of the major battles inside today. Because when you look at North Carolina, if May gets in foul trouble, they have no bench strength in terms of depth with size.
Noel very strong, but only 6'6". Jawad Williams a little bit slender, whereas Duke has Sheldon Williams and Shavlik Randolph. Rashad McCants back in for the Tar Heels.
Well, the Tar Heels beat Connecticut. They were #1 in America. They, along with UCLA, have 10 victories against #1 teams to lead the nation. Maryland is at #9 at #2. But they've beaten Connecticut, Georgia Tech, NC State, Illinois. Bottom line is, this club is very capable of beating anyone with the offensive firepower. If they ever commit defensively, whoa!
Duke up by 4 on the road here at Chapel Hill. Carolina down by 4. They got some tough news on the recruiting front yesterday. James Curry, the state of North Carolina's all-time leading scorer, has run into some legal trouble. With the details on that, here's our own Andy Katz. Andy?
Thanks, Dan. That's right. Curry was arrested on his high school's campus at Eastern Alamance High and charged with drug charges, drug possession and selling. And right now, North Carolina has not made up its mind whether or not they're going to retain his scholarship, whether or not they're going to honor it. As of now, though, they are 1 scholarship over, so this might actually solve a problem for the Tar Heels. They signed 4 players in the fall. They only had 3 scholarships available. They may obviously solve the problem here with this issue. They'll make up their mind within the next month if they're honored the scholarship. Dan and Dick?
I'll tell you one thing. Andy is certainly innocent until proven guilty. Bottom line is, my gut feeling is he will never, ever wear a North Carolina uniform. And that's sad in a way. You wonder the thinking process of these young kids who have such opportunities and such a chance to make a name for themselves at a prestigious school. But as we said, he's certainly innocent until proven guilty.
7th turnover committed by North Carolina, 5 by Duke. So both teams maybe a little bit too pumped up for this big game here in the opening minutes.
Oh, there's so much emotion. We feel it. I mean, we make mistakes. They make mistakes. There's turnovers. Oh, look at a backdoor cut.
Dockery inside to Ewing. And again, Duke is going to get to the line.
Ewing is a forgotten guy, but not to the coach at Duke. He is so effective.
And tomorrow night, the NBA season continues with a doubleheader on ESPN. The evening begins with a Kia NBA shootaround at 7:30 Eastern. Then at 8, Tracy McGrady and the Magic take on Jason Kidd of the Nets at 10:30 Eastern time. Reigning NBA MVP Tim Duncan of the Spurs against the high-flying Sacramento Kings.
Let me clarify what I mean there. As we look at Grant Hill, let's wish him the best. You talk about a classy guy. Hope that ankle gets better and he can get in the uniform. He's told me so many times whenever I met him, his greatest years in his life as a player were right at Duke University. But I want to tell you what I mean about Daniel Ewing. When I say forgotten guy, so much attention is Duhan and Reddick. You hear about them all the time. And this guy is like a silent assassin. He had 15 against the Georgia Tech off the bench. Very effective three-point shooter, one of the best in America.
MVP of the ACC tournament last year. Both of these teams have so many different players who can hurt you. Both teams have all 5 starters averaging in double figures. Boy, North Carolina is missing some chances right around the basket.
And that's Mr. May again, who's having a great night rebounding at 7 rebounds already, but is missing some easy shots inside, and that usually gets him very down, and it affects his game.
He's shooting down around 35%, Dick, in the last 5 games, and he's just 1 for 5 tonight. Duhan, and he turned it over. Numbers for Carolina. And they turn it right back over to Duke. A 3-on-1 chance goes for naught.
Boy, Williams shaking his head because normally they're one of the great transition teams in America. I think the 3 best that I've witnessed is certainly with Connecticut, and you think of Arizona and North Carolina.
We're here with the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill, along with Dick Vitale and Andy Katz. I'm Dan Schulman. Rivalry Week presented by Cisco Systems. Look at the turnover trouble for both teams, especially North Carolina, as Roy Williams goes even deeper into his bench. Rayshon Terry is in, and really the big story early, Dick, North Carolina's inability to convert easy chances.
Well, they had opportunities inside, and they have not taken advantage. But look at this opportunity. I mean, you can't allow that to happen. You got to make a commitment to defense. The difference in these two clubs is Duke has made a commitment to defense, whether they win or lose here tonight. When you look at them the entire season, they have committed on the defensive end as a team, where North Carolina hasn't.
Felton misses the floater. Follow tap, no good. And now Duke comes back in transition. Reddick to Williams.
Another layup. Simple give and go. You can't play defense like that, Dan, and beat a club of this quality.
Well, Roy Williams has been frustrated and vocally frustrated about his team's lack of defense and commitment at times this season. And in speaking with him before the game, it's February. He's still trying to instill that commitment.
They had that at Kansas 2 years ago. They led the nation in field goal percentage defensively. Take a look right here. Dump inside, easy layup. Man, I can make that layup if I can get the ball in deep. Now, here's an opportunity. You got to convert that.
Wow.
You got to convert that. Our producer would make that with no trouble, Mr. Belton. I know he can't wait to get it home this weekend. He'll be producing the game with Arizona and Stanford.
Saturday afternoon, 3 Eastern, part of the regional coverage on ABC. 10-point lead for Duke, largest of the night. Crowd, I think, booing the officials, but the officials are not the problem for the Tar Heels right now.
Well, the one thing that's happened with your early Duke lead, as you alluded to earlier, it has a way to flatten that crowd out, and that's what it's done here.
Sheldon Williams, give him a dozen points. How improved is this guy from last year?
He's really improved, but nobody's denying the ball inside. They're up by 12, getting the ball inside at ease.
May inside, and finally gets one to go in.
I would love to play with Raymond. Everybody loves Raymond. I mean, if you get open, he's going to lay the rock right on your hands. Mr. Felton, one of the premier point guards in the nation.
Third in the country in assists at almost 8 per game. That bucket ended a 10-0 run by Duke. Luol Deng, the pull-up from 18. Rebound made. He's going to have some big numbers on the glass tonight. Rayshawn Terry, but the biggest number, North Carolina turnovers. They give it away yet again.
There's a little jump shot. Look at the block out right here. Great block out. That is an unbelievable block out. You keep your man between you and the basket. Really a super job. That's fundamentally just solid blocking out.
He's got 9 rebounds already, and now Duke. We got an offensive foul down low. Deng trying to establish position.
Poor job as we look at the rebound totals with the angle to make that entry. Very similar to what we saw the other night in the last minute of the game with Kentucky.
That's
where
right.
Christian Dreyer tried to make that pass and didn't have the angle.
Sheldon Williams unstoppable down low. Sean May getting lots of rebounds but unable to handle Williams. And this was seen as one of the key battles in the game, along with the battle of the point guards when they're on each other, Duhon and Felton.
I think that Daniel Ewing's one of the most underrated players in America. So solid on a perimeter.
Got a bump now on the guy you're just talking about, Ewing, as Felton tried to explode right by him.
Bottom line is, as a team, you have to play defense as a unit. And that's what they do up at Stanford. There is right now Felton trying to come over. Ewing bumps him. He can't believe it, but he definitely did.
Duhon right now is on McCants.
He told us
Now
before the
McCants
game.
knocks Reddick to the ground. So we've got a number of different guys on McCants. Look at May working inside.
I tell you, he is working hard. There is no doubt about it. He's had some tough luck around the basket, but he has given a supreme effort. Maybe listen to Michael Jackson music before the game. Helps to relax him.
Yeah, warming up with his headphones on, listening to some tunes.
He told me he's listening to Michael Jackson.
Look at Williams. In it close again, but this time he missed. And the rebound to Carolina.
Just getting the ball inside too easily.
Scott coming off the screen. May knocked away. Numbers for Duke. Duhon leading the break. Ewing on the wing for 3.
They run in their transition game. One of the first options is to get to the three-point line with Reddick or with Ewing. Man, could they flat out shoot it from out there, those two guys.
The lead is back up to 11. Nice crossover by Felton. And the offensive rebound for Felton throws it right back up and in.
They retired to New Jersey, down in Atlanta, South Carolina. Terrific point guard, had his number retired. What a thrill for a youngster. Oh, does this crowd want it? Oh, does this crowd want it? They just need a little help from their buddies.
There's the guy who's been the man inside in this game, Sheldon Williams, turning on May. Duhon thought about it, and good anticipation there by Felton as he knocks it out of bounds. Duke will retain possession as we step aside. The visiting Blue Devils are up by 9. This is the 216th meeting between Duke and North Carolina. The first game is believed to have been back in January of 1920 when Duke was known as Trinity College. They took on Carolina. Here's when you know you got a good rivalry. They can't even agree on who won the game back in 1920.
That's incredible. Also, you know, between these two schools, they give out what's called the Carlisle Trophy. It's incredible, a $5,000 trophy. It's gorgeous, and it goes to the school that gets the most points in 23 sports. And the 3 major sports, men's basketball, women's basketball, and football, you get 2 points. All the other sports, you get 1. And 2 of the last 3 years, the big trophies in Durham, North Carolina.
The Duke Blue Devils with a 9-point lead right now. Sheldon Williams, the high scorer, with a dozen. And Duhon draws the foul. That is an unpopular call here in Chapel Hill as Jackie Manuel is called for the foul. His second.
Duhon's having a phenomenal year. An orchestra leader, Gonzaga, one of my teams to go to the Final Four with Blake Stepp and Mr. Turioff take on Pepperdine. Oh, Paul, I mean, you talk about Paul Westphal, man. That's a player, but unfortunately, he can't put the uniform on.
Throwdown Thursday tonight, presented by Mass Mutual, continues tonight at 11 Eastern here on ESPN2. 2 more inside points for Duke. Luol Deng now with 7, and the lead is back into double digits.
What really makes Duke so so effective is the great balance they have. Nice backdoor cut.
And Manuel finishes strong.
Nice backdoor cut. Good Duke player staring at the basketball. Ran that backdoor cut. We're going to see it right here. He's going to run right here. Right to backdoor cut. There it is. Rotating over a little bit slow. And there's the layup on the inside. He gets the great angle. Angles are so important in trying to execute and getting that backdoor cut.
You know, Jackie Manuel last year was settling for a lot of outside jump shots, and Roy Williams said, hey, listen, you're not a shooter. Now look at that field goal percentage. He went from 38% last year to 58% this year because instead of shooting threes, he's attacking the basket.
Well, my buddy Mike Patrick is sitting down right now, sitting out in Hawaii. He said it best. He said he's finally learned that he's not a long-range shooter. Hey, Mike, have one on me, baby, down there in Hawaii.
If you got to miss this game, Hawaii's a pretty good place to be. Huh?
No, I'd rather be here.
Redick has it blocked.
This is better than Hawaii. Are you kidding me?
Shavlik Randolph has it blocked.
They're not going to go away. Duke's going to have to earn this baby here tonight.
Noel looking inside. Sean May again.
Great post position inside. Mr. Schulman, they're not going to go away. This crowd will not allow them to go away. They can feel the adrenaline of the crowd. You play off that adrenaline.
30-second timeout taken by Mike Krzyzewski and Duke. Couple of buckets for Carolina to get back within 7. As we celebrate our 25 seasons of college basketball, it's time to flash back into the ESPN archives.
If you have not been watching this game all night with us, this has been marvelous. 1 second! Overtime going on, T. That's the way it's supposed to be. Gotta go 3 overtimes. Fine. I want this to go all night. He lets it fly. I can't believe it. 17 points, 5 assists, and the shot of his life.
Oh, do I remember that, man, vividly. In fact, Mike Patrick has a great story. I stood up when he hit that shot, and I banged my head up at Duke in a cart on this unbelievable cement block, and my head stopped bleeding. And Mike said, it didn't bother you bleeding, and you still stayed there calling the game.
Another rebound for May. That's his 11. You play hurt, huh?
Well, you got to be a warrior, man.
Carolina trying to make a bit of a move. Get back within 7. And Noel, a couple of bounces, won't go down. But Noel is going to go to the line as Carolina's doing a great job getting inside now.
Well, you know, Dan, you look at Roy Williams' numbers. I mean, it's no accident that he's brought a buzz here. Bottom line, he's the winningest active coach out there. 431 and 106. That's over 80% a game. That's number 3 in all-time winningest coach behind Claire B, the former LIU superstar, and Adolph Rupp. 15 seasons at Kansas, 4 Final Fours, 9 conference titles. Are you serious? I mean, that's incredible. He's done an amazing job. He was 10 years here as an assistant coach. Bob Frederick, you got to give all the credit in the world at Kansas for giving him an opportunity, having on his resume assistant coach.
Back on their feet here to the Dean Dome, a 6-0 run for Carolina. Dang. Williams, maybe a push-off to come up with a rebound, and Duke's got it back.
What range this guy's got.
Redick for 3.
He just shot that from Durham, North Carolina, man. He shot that from 8 miles out of here. Incredible range, the best range of any shooter in a country. If I talk about best shooters, you think about certainly Chris Hill at Michigan State, Ben Gordon at Connecticut, Novak, Salim Stoudemire, who I'll see on Saturday, a great long-range shooter.
Hey, David Noel showing a little bit of range there on the elbow jumper.
I was teasing him about being a football player. Came here originally as a recruiting football player. And Dean Smith told me about him at the Jimmy D Foundation. He said he will be a major contributor. And when Dean talks, you listen.
People listen. J.J. Redick, by the way, 55% from 3 in ACC play. Double team on Williams. He tries to pass his way out of it, and he turns it over with a travel.
Are you serious? Now look at this. Look at that where he's shooting the ball from. I mean, Murphy, North Carolina, man. That's unbelievable.
All the way on the other side of the state.
He's got incredible range. uses his legs. A lot of his shot comes because of his legs.
2 for 3 from three-point range so far tonight. Carolina hanging around. Look at this, three-point game. Rashad McCants for 3.
He's a big-time scorer, averaging 21 a game in the ACC, 18.9 overall. You just knew they were going to come out. They are really making a better commitment defensively here tonight than I have seen.
Gang with a jump stop, gets 2 players in the air, and now a foul is called on Carolina as Ewing is driven to the ground.
You know, this Carolina program has lost 36 games in the last 2 years, and they lost 16 last year. I really feel one of the problems with this club is that they haven't had the great chemistry. What is chemistry? We try to define it sometimes, but chemistry is so valuable to a team that everybody understands their role. They know who the guys are that are shooters. Defensive players step up and do their job. Most of all, you play as a unit, as a team. You make commitment. They have not done that, and that's why they have struggled like they have sometimes against inferior competition.
So if you're the coach of that team, if you're Roy Williams, how do you get them to buy into his message and to develop that commitment that they need?
Well, you know, that happens when you win and win regularly. He will get it done because, trust me, he will get kids to feel and to be part of the system that he believes in, like he built up at Kansas.
Couple of free throws for Daniel Ewing as Duke widens the lead to 5. Look at some of the great names who have been a part of this fantastic rivalry in recent years. More great players and maybe another classic here tonight.
Reese Davis, Jay Billis, and Steve Lavin here will be with you on the Budget Car Rental Halftime Report. Steve, Carolina's gotten back into this game, but what's the number one thing they need to take care of?
Well, in the middle of this run, they've cleaned up some sloppy passing and ball handling, both in the half court and in transition. That's going to be a key against Duke's pressure defense.
I think North Carolina is in very good shape because they calmed down and they slowed down. They need to keep getting the ball inside to Sean May. He's a real strength for them inside.
He's getting every rebound, it seems. We'll also have the latest on the Maurice Clarett situation coming up at halftime, guys.
Hey, I'll tell you this, Jay, you're going to be happy to learn this, that your coach, Mr. Krzyzewski, said the best defensive team he's coached, 1986. He said with Dawkins and Amick on the perimeter, and he said, yes, Mr. Billis on the inside.
McCants a little bit short on the drive. He said this team is just about as good defensively as that 1986 team, and he gives Chris Duhon a lot of the credit. He says he's their best defensive player, and he is easily the team MVP this season.
Yeah, he's really the orchestra leader as well.
Ewing on the drive.
I really love Ewing. I'll tell you one thing. He is really an underrated player nationally. He can score points in a hurry, both from the perimeter and on the drive.
9 points for Ewing. How about Byron Sanders with the answer for the Tar Heels to make it a 5-point game?
I mean, that's good news when they get some points from their bench because they normally don't get them. A bad omen is Duke Gutzel is referee in the game. But Dookie's on the game.
Yeah, that happened during the Duke-Maryland game as well. Double team and a good one forces Williams out high.
They're having a tough time getting Reddick open for some shots. Jackie Manuel swatted 2 of them away here tonight. He's got the size. He's matched up with quickness. That's the one area he's going to have to work so much harder at, getting free. He gets a lot of attention now.
5-point lead for Duke, 2.5 to go, and now a foul on the inbounds play.
Foul on Reddick. They held him.
Byron Sanders is called for the foul. Here's another deep into the past of this great rivalry, way back to 1933.
75 cents.
Is that a bargain or what?
75 cents. Wow. Coach K, maybe I can borrow 75 cents from him. I think he's got a few dollars.
That game back in 33 was the first of many times it is believed that this matchup was referred to as the matchup of the century, the battle of the century between Duke and North Carolina. There have been numerous of those since then.
You know, we talked about certainly the numbers that Roy Williams has achieved. Mike Krzyzewski's numbers just blow you away. 9 Final Fours. He's inducted, and it's a beautiful building, the Naismith Hall of Fame in Springfield in 2001. And he's young enough to be able to enjoy being in the Hall of Fame, having his family and friends enjoy that moment. 8-time National Coach of the Year, 9 regular season ACC titles. He's won the tournament 8 times, 5 consecutive times. Are you serious? What is there to say negatively about Duke? You tell me.
J.J. Reddick with a couple of free throws. Now 71 for 73 on the season.
How did he miss 2? How did he miss 2?
I was watching the first one he missed. You jinxed him.
I know.
Against
Ray told me that. I can't wait to see Brett, by the way, tomorrow night. I'll be down there tonight. Arizona Stanford game, one of the unbeaten teams in America. And they're a lot like Duke in that they have great balance as well and defend exceptionally well.
And the Cardinal doing it despite some injuries. Justin Davis and now Manny as well. Dang with a strong rebound. Nice look down low. And two more for Sheldon Williams, who's the high scorer in this game with 14.
Former teammate of D'Angelo Alexander from Oklahoma, who's now won 4 in a row after losing 4 in a row.
Well, Carolina makes a little run, 2 or 3 baskets, and then Duke comes right back. Fortunate bounce there for the Tar Heels into the hands of Jawad Williams.
The one real ingredient why Duke always has a chance to win is because they defend so well. As Williams hits that shot, now playing without a mask.
That's right, had a broken nose. He's also had a concussion, stitches. First points of the night for Williams, who averages almost 14 per game.
Execution by Duke, so effective, right down the lane. You got to be able to get help. See, that's when we talk about team defense. You know, you beat one guy, but somebody's got to step in.
Delvin with the answer.
Right there, nobody stepped in on Delvin either.
I was expecting anything you can do, I can do better right there. I was waiting for it.
You know, really, one of the great point guards in America. When you think about point guards, hey, what about Devin Harris and the job he's doing at Wisconsin? At 38 last night, best player in the Big Ten, MVP in the Big Ten.
Turnover committed by Duke. So Carolina will get it back. Duke, after losing to Purdue up in Alaska in November, they have won 15 in a row since then. But St. Joseph's from Stanford still haven't lost all season.
You know, not only have they won 15 in a row, you know what the margin of victory has been? 21.3. And in that streak, teams have only scored 58.5 against them.
And as you would say, it's not Cupcake City.
Oh, not in this league.
Oh, it's some tough out-of-conference games before they got into league play. Noel off with a jumper, tries to save it, but can't.
You know, Duke gets a great advantage now going to the second part of the season. They get 5 home games out of the 8, where Carolina, it's reversed because Duke has taken care of what they've had to do on a road.
How about this? Duke has 4 wins on the road in ACC play. The rest of the league combined has 6. They're 4-0 on the road.
You know how poorly they looked early in the year, struggling with Detroit, getting beat by Purdue. I really thought it was going to be a good team, but not a great team. But they made that commitment to defense, and that just takes you to another level when you get 5 guys playing as a unit defensively.
Running the clock down, they turn it over. A little bit of time for Melvin Scott.
That's a bad foul. That's a bad foul. You got to be smarter than that. You got to be smarter than that. Coach K credits a lot of his success to West Point. He said his foundation and his beliefs really happened at West Point when he played for Bob Knight. He was a point guard. See right now, take a look right here, coming off. I see it right here. This is silly. Look where you are. You got to know the clock. You got to know the situation, know the time of the game. You got to know the situation. I mean, he's too good a player, Mr. Duhan.
And sends Melvin Scott to the line with a chance to cut into the lead right at the end of the half as he knocks down the first.
You just give him 2. I mean, this is a leader. This is a guy that's supposed to understand. He got caught up a little bit in emotion. But Mike Krzyzewski, great article by Luciana Chavez, did an unbelievable article about West Point and the foundation that was established in his beliefs.
Maybe a big turnaround at the end of the half. The turnover, the foul, the free throws, and Carolina back within 5. Chris Duhan and Raymond Felt, these 2 extremely talented point guards, are Star Watch dishing more than scoring. Are we on our way to another classic matchup here? Reese and company. Stick around to find out. Now back to the gang in the studio.
All right, Dan, glad to have you with us on the Budget Halftime Report. And Duhan's brain lock late in the first half there gets Carolina back to within 5. Jay Billis, Steve Lavin with me. We'll hear from them in just a little bit. Maurice Clarett is indeed eligible to be a member of the 2004 Car Rental Halftime Report. We'll talk about this competitive ACC and some of the teams that might wonder whether they are contenders, and who might be in better shape than you think.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of Rivalry Week is presented by Cisco Systems. This is the power of the network now. And in part by The Pilot, built by Honda. It gets you surprisingly close to nature.
Meanwhile,
welcome to the Budget Rent-A-Car Halftime Report.
North Carolina caught a break right at the end of the first half. They're right back in the fight. premier rivalry. Men's college basketball, Duke up by 5. Glad to have you with us. Rivalry Week presented by Cisco Systems here on the Budget Halftime Report. You know, guys, in the ACC, Duke is certainly leading the way already with all of those road wins for them that Dan Schulman mentioned in the first half. You see how competitive and balanced the league is. Only 2 clubs above 500 overall. Duke's one of them, and the other one is North Carolina State. NC State rallied from 16-point deficit last night against Wake Forest. Julius Hodge has just been outstanding for them, along with Scooter Sherrill, too.
Scooter Sherrill, an outstanding shooter. He was a McDonald's All-American, and now as a senior, really starting to play well. This team plays some 5-out motion, kind of a Princeton-style system, and it's really hard to guard.
And along with North Carolina State, another surprise in the league, particularly the way they played at home. Leonard Hamilton and Florida State, 4-1 at home in the league, Steve.
Well, they're a deep team, a very young team, but Tim Pickett, a senior, a go-to player that can knock it down from long distance, put it on the floor and create problems, both off of penetration for himself and his teammates. They've knocked off some ranked teams. That's going to help them in the eyes of the selection committee.
And you know what? When you start, I mean, a lot of teams are lose games on the road, but these two teams have dominated at home. They've won some on the road, and they have very good records against the top 20, or pretty good records against the top 25, and solid against the top 50.
Well, those 4 and 5 wins, respectively, against the top 50 are really going to help them going down the stretch. And it's important that you don't look just at the ACC standings, because that's a monster league this year. And there's been talk that you can get 7 teams out of the ACC into the NCAA tournament. So when you talk about teams like Maryland, who's 3 and 5 right now, Maryland is still in very good shape to make the NCAA tournament field as an at-large team, even if they don't win the ACC tournament or win the league. This team has quality wins over Florida. They won against Wisconsin. They won against North Carolina in the league. You have to look at who they're going against in the other at-large teams from other leagues. And I think they stack up very favorably. I think the Terps will be in the NCAA tournament. Of course, they have to keep winning. People ask, what do they have to do? Of course, keep winning. But they've done an awful lot even up to this point.
Well, the Terps are one of those young teams, similar to Syracuse last year. Syracuse wasn't even ranked in the top 25 in January, and they made that run. They're young, talented, well coached by Gary Williams. North Carolina State, you got to love the Princeton-style system. Very difficult to defend in an NCAA tournament situation, a single elimination game format. It's tough to prepare for. Marcus Melvin, big, wide, husky body that can step out and knock down shots. Made a big shot last night down the stretch for North Carolina State. Herb Sindek, different times, taken a lot of criticism, been on the hot seat, going for his 3rd straight NCAA tournament. He's a heck of a coach, very smart, getting the most out of his team. You know, one of the things that we talk about a lot of times, teams taking advantage of opportunities. Maryland, you guys mentioned, they were able to do that last night on the road against Virginia. Jay, you mentioned they're 3 and 5. They were in danger of falling to 2 and 6 in conference play. And Virginia, which had a chance, they also did fall to 2 and 6. The late turnover there. Strawberry missed a shot. Gilchrist fouled it in. And Gary Williams' team came up with a 4-point win on the road. Now, the flip side of taking advantage of that is missing an opportunity, and it's something that sort of happened right now to Pete Gillen in Virginia, and in fact, it's been a bit of a albatross for Gillen come this time of year the last few years. Well, I'll tell you, one thing they've really struggled with is getting stops. Teams that struggle, we talked about it earlier with North Carolina, teams that can't get stops, can't ever get into transition, and in late games, you've got to be able to get stops. You look at Virginia, they've got a lot of quick athletes, some interchangeable parts, but they seem to lack an identity in terms of what they want to get done offensively, and then defensively just porous in terms of giving up easy baskets. But you're right, they had an opportunity at home against Maryland last night and couldn't close, and that's been a problem for Pete Gillen's team. Traditionally, they haven't been able to guard, and it's a team that likes to get out and press, but you've got to have great quickness and great togetherness if you're going to press. When you press full court, oftentimes you can give up a lot of easy baskets, and that's been the problem for Virginia over the last couple of years. They've got to have the mentality to get stops. All 5 guys. You can play 80% great defense, you still give up a basket. And Native's starting to get a little restless in Charlottesville, too, as Virginia misses yet another opportunity. When we continue on the Budget Halftime Report, it is Throwdown Thursday, and we will deliver some serious throwdowns when we come back.
This halftime report is presented by Budget Rent-A-Car.
Back on the Budget Halftime Report. Throwdown Thursday means it's time to throw it down.
Iguodala on the run. They're not going to get him.
Look out below.
a fella. Rise for it.
That's a top 10 play on ESPN.
Absolutely.
What about the only thing Diana Taurasi can't do is get it done offensively, but after they made her mad at one point, she hit a three there, finished with 18, 81-67. UConn does it to Tennessee again. And we still have more coming your way. Blake Stepp and the Bulldogs get set to take on West Falls Waves, 11 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to paint it navy there in the kennel tonight, trying to have all the fans wear blue. And look at the way Mark Few have done it better than Mark has in his first 5 seasons. The number of wins he's put up, some pretty good company, Coach.
Yeah, what's really impressive, he's also an outstanding fly fisherman. I think that's one edge he has on the rest of the names up there. And to do it at a WCC school in the Northwest, really impressive.
Nobody caught fish better than Everett Case. Give me a break.
I thought maybe Spotty Anderson perhaps was as good a fisherman as there was. Hey, Chris Duhon had a little bit of a problem at the end of the first half. Only 2 points, but he has handed it out for the Devils. Duke up by 5. Second half's coming.
This halftime report is presented by Budget Rent-A-Car. ESPN2's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball, presented by the Mass Mutual Financial Group. You can predict, you can prepare. Cisco Systems. This is the power of the network. Now, and in part by GMC. We are professional grade.
Back inside what is affectionately known as the Dean Dome here in Chapel Hill. It's rivalry week presented by Cisco Systems. Duke has led the entire game, but Carolina made a run to get back within 5 at the end of the half. Our game track, Dick, just too easy for Duke to get the ball inside on Carolina.
They were really doing a great job getting it inside, especially to Sheldon Williams, who had 14 on the interior. They also were driving into the gaps, getting to the basket. But Mr. Fell was able to get it to the paint as well. Both clubs really were trying to establish inside play. May for North Carolina, Williams for Duke, and did a great job in that area. I think the one guy, when I look at J.J. Redick, and he's took 5 shots in the first half, he averages about 10.8 shots a game. A guy with that shooting ability has got to get at least 15 shots a game somehow. I know Duke's very balanced, but didn't Jim Calhoun tell us that he'd love to see Mr. Gordon get about 18, 20 shots a game?
I'm sure Mike Krzyzewski feels the same way about J.J. Redick. Nice drive to the bucket to get Carolina back within 3. North Carolina has not led at any point in this game. At one point, they were down by 12 midway through the first half. Here's Sheldon Williams in a big first half, 14 points, 5 rebounds. Nice look for Dang, who also stuffed the stat sheet in the first half. Nowhere to go, though. Good D by Jawad Williams.
They're doing a great job defensing Mr. Redick. They can run up on his face. They're going to make him have to put the ball into the deck.
A block and a tie-up, and the arrow will keep it with Duke. But only 1 second left on the shot clock as we check out the GMC first half stats. Not one, but both teams shot 50%. But the biggest problem, Dick, they couldn't get their shots up because they turned it over so much.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers in the first half. Duke forces about 17.3 turnovers per game, almost 18 a game.
Number 1 on the shot clock now for the Blue Devils. And they won't get the shot on.
Is that coaching brain trust? Johnny Dawkins, is he ready? He's definitely ready to be a head coach somewhere in America, but he absolutely loves it down at Duke. I'll tell you one thing, eventually he stays there. I think he's the guy that ultimately will take over that Duke program.
Wow.
And that's a lot of years. Mike Krzyzewski's going nowhere.
Rashad McCants trying to establish position down to the post is called for the foul. His second. I know you feel that, not the foul, but going down on the block, that's something McCants should do more of.
Yeah, I really believe that. I think he's a great low post player. He's a guy that can really take inside invert really well.
Here's Redick at a couple of threes in the first half, but only took 5 shots. Now Duhon off to Sheldon Williams. Boy, the strength and the agility for the big man who's got 16.
Well, he's headed for a 20-point night tonight. He's really so effective down in that interior.
David Felton right now being defended by Daniel Ewing. Blows right by him. Wide open, Gerard Williams. The three is short, but he gets it back.
And that was created by the penetration ability of Felton, one of the great penetrators in America.
Well, let's talk about one of the major themes of the first half, Dick. Missed opportunities by North Carolina.
Yeah, you got to score right here. Here's Mr. May. Comes up empty, but keeps the ball alive. Big wide body. You got to make that count. Come on, Sean. Getting opportunities on the interior. Shot 50% in the first half against that Duke defense.
Carolina continues to get the ball inside. And another foul committed by the Blue Devils. That will be on Williams, his second.
Here's the ball to the inside. I'll tell you, Duke challenges on every shot. They really come after you. His daddy's in the house tonight. Dad was player of the year for Indiana. Played for the Hoosiers when they were unbeaten, unblemished back in 1976.
Either Stanford or St. Joseph's going to run the table, right? Not just the regular season. Do either of them have a shot to go all the way and match Indiana?
Well, until anybody beats them, but I would say right now, very difficult for that to occur. If I laid out my number one seeds, as you watch him on the inside, Mr. May with a score there, I'd go St. Joe's, Duke, Stanford, and Pittsburgh right now, but that could certainly change. And what about Mississippi State?
Yep.
They got to be the hunt with Pittsburgh as well. When you think about the fact they've lost once, alternate possession kept them from being undefeated.
Duke right now the number one ranked team in the country, 18-1 on the season, a 15-game winning streak, and now a 5-point lead as Daniel Ewing hits the three and he hushes the crowd.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do that. Just shoot and score.
How about May now asserting himself inside? He's got a double-double.
He must have heard us talk about missed opportunities because he's right now very effective. He's got that big, wide body, great hands.
13 points, 13 rebounds for May. Sheldon Williams now scores right over the top of May.
He looks at Mr. May and says, Mr. May, you get the tip in. I'm going to shoot the little J, baby, right in your face.
18 for Sheldon Williams, who averages just under 12, so he's already way over that. Felton, no. Loose ball to McCants. Then Felton draining. Not close. Rebound McCants. And out of bounds off McCants, back to Duke.
There's their leader, Roy Williams, on that sideline, trying to encourage. Now here comes Mr. May, inside position. Nobody blocks him out. You got to get a body on that big guy. Look at a nice touch. You notice with the fingertips, you don't tip with your palm of your hand. You tip with your fingertips. Great touch. They work on drills on that.
May has made his last 4 shots. He's got great hands for a big guy, and he's having a big night, as is the guy with the ball right now, Williams. Triple teamed, and Felton takes it away.
He's got to find the open man when they double up on him like that. There's 3 guys surrounding. Jackie Manuel isn't given any help, and that is so smart, staying with J.J. Redick. Roy Williams told us today, we cannot help off J.J. Redick. If we give any kind of help, they're going to rotate the ball, and it's going to be right open for a jumper.
Sean May having to play a ton of minutes and play at a very high level. He's lost some weight from last year. Remember, he broke the bone in his foot. He's lost about 13 pounds, maybe a little bit more to go.
Well, we said yes, but the bottom line is we said had he not gotten injured last year, there'd be no Roy Williams here, there'd be no Bill Self in Kansas, and then right now be no Coach and Change at Illinois.
So Sean May's broken foot, really a whole chain reaction.
Yeah, he really did create an incredible, because they would have won enough games that Matt Doherty would have been able to keep his job. I hope that somebody gives Matt Doherty an opportunity. He's got passion, he's got work ethic, and he can recruit. If you don't believe he can recruit, take a look at these players that are right here, right now, wearing this uniform.
Luol Deng was called for the foul for Duke, his second. The ball back over to Carolina. They got within 2 briefly. Early here in the second half, they had never led in this game. Here's McCants just freeing himself from Ewing. And we've got a foul called on the Blue Devils. Tomorrow night, the NBA season continues with a doubleheader on ESPN. It begins with the Kia NBA shoot-around at 7:30. The Magic against the Nets is the first game. And then it is Tim Duncan and the Spurs taking on the Sacramento Kings at 10:30 Eastern Time. That game also available in ESPN HD.
They're saying now Maurice Claret is eligible for the NFL draft. I'll tell you this, underclassmen in the NFL just not going to make it. Physically not ready. And the NBA level, you're able to make that transition. You see kids like LeBron James, even though I only hope that the David Stern rule would come into effect, 20 years of age, and let kids be kids. Just ask the Grant Hills, the Tim Duncans, all those kind of kids, David Robinson, about their greatest years.
May working hard again, missed the shot. And the ball goes over to Duke. You know, another thing it would do is if you remove the possibility of a freshman or a sophomore going to the NBA, they might play a little bit differently in college basketball. Instead of worrying about the scouts and their stats,
exactly,
they play some team basketball.
Trying to impress everybody. Bottom line is it works beautifully in baseball. Once you enter college, you can't eligible for the draft until you complete 3 years.
Jackie Manuel a little bit out of control off the fingertips of May. Ewing, he's got help. And he is, a double dribble is the call.
Excellent call. It was definitely a double dribble. No doubt about it. Mike Krzyzewski not happy, but that was a good call, Coach. That was a good call. Look at Mr. May on the inside.
Big guys working hard. Carolina trying to climb back into it with Duke. Rivalry Week presented by Cisco Systems from the Dean Dome in Chapel Hill. Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale. But you don't forget, North Carolina will play at Duke in Cameron on the final Saturday of the regular season over on ESPN.
Yeah, we'll have that game at 9 o'clock. I can't wait. And our studio's coming down there as well. Hey, I love the quote by Mike Krzyzewski. Yes, Dean Smith was doing a book signing. There were hundreds of people lined up. He's got a great new book. He did it with John Kilgo, who's from this area, about leadership, Carolina's way. 36 years. What an amazing job he did. Bottom line is, he said, Duke probably will not lose another game. They're so talented. Mike Krzyzewski had a great line when they asked him about it. He said, Dean still must be coaching. He's trying to play psychology game.
McCants misses the three. May keeps it alive. And now we're going to foul going against the Blue Devils. Don't forget that later on tonight, there's more college basketball action for you on Throwdown Thursday, presented by Mass Mutual. The Waves of Pepperdine take it on Step, Turioff, Violet, Morrison, and the rest of the Zags. One of Dick's picks to make it all the way to the Final Four. It's all a part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco Systems on ESPN and ESPN2.
Hey, Dan, I'm going to right now take him. You'll handle the whole game. I just got worried that Michael Jordan is in the house, and so is Dean Smith, but they're hiding somewhere. We can't find him. And nobody blocked out. There's McCants right to the basket, gets himself the layup off the glass. This place loves that. And we got a two-point game, baby. The Heels are ready. Will they beat Duke for the 6th time, with Duke being #1 in the Mike Krzyzewski era?
And another fact of that last foul was on Sheldon Williams, his 3rd, and he's gone to the bench. Ewing, who's having a big night. Knocked away by May. Here come the Heels, led by their quarterback, Felton. Tie game. No, wave it off. Wave it off. He's in the cylinder.
Yes, sir. Interference right up there. Sheldon Williams has taken a lot of minutes away from him all year because of foul trouble. Take a look right here. There's Felton now with the little jump shot. Look at right here. Playing with the ball. You cannot play with the ball up on that cylinder. You can do that internationally, but you can't do it on a collegiate level.
Jackie Manuel chasing J.J. Redick all over the floor. Lost him for a moment. Redick misses the shot. Again, Felton. Nice. Manuel. Tie game.
They can really run the transition game. When they run, baby, they can run. They can fill the floor up. They will miss Sheldon Williams on the inside. The Tar Heels with their transition game. Hey, turn it blue is their cry here tonight. Turn it blue. College basketball. You love it? Your first game, Carolina Duke?
Can't be better.
I did about 40 of them.
Carolina once down as many as 12, never having led in this game, all the way back into a tie at 49 with Duke with plenty of time to go. The Blue Devils a little bit of foul trouble. Raymond Felton leading the break a couple of times, getting easy layups for his teammates, and the Roofs about ready to blow right off the Dean Dome here tonight if Carolina can move on top.
Well, when they get that transition game, take a look at this 15-game win streak. Total minutes that they trail. That's an amazing number.
Average win margin, 21 points per game during the win streak. Duhan on the floor with 3 fouls. Sheldon Williams on the bench with 3 fouls.
Randolph's going to have to step up now, give him some inside attack with Williams out of the game.
Dang posting up on Noel.
Nice ball.
Yeah, we're going to like. Duhan, turn it over.
Trying to make that one extra pass. Had himself an open shot in that area.
May gives it up. McCants passes it up. Now the lead for Carolina for the first time tonight.
I'll tell you one thing, McCants starting to attack the basket a little bit. Previously, he had a situation where Redick couldn't block him out and allow him to get right to the goal.
The first lead for Carolina, courtesy of the leading scorer in the ACC this year, Rashad McCants.
And remember, they've already beaten the #1 on this floor this year, the Huskies of Connecticut.
Randolph follows the missed jumper. Another rebound for Sean May, his 15th. McCants, and Carolina almost turns it over.
Right there.
And Noel may be hurt. Randolph the foul as Noel hits the floor hard.
Now watch this. There's no block out after he's going to shoot the ball. We're going to watch the situation. Right there. Now watch the jump shot. Now look at Redick. Freeze it. Redick goes. He's going to come directly to the basket. Right here. Hold it right there. See, he's trailing the play. He's trailing the play. His guy's got the inside for a layup. Redick is nowhere near him to block him out. That is a no-no, man. That's a no-no. Fundamentally, that's a breakdown.
Yep. David Noel shaken up. He goes out for Carolina. Meanwhile, Dick, Sheldon Williams back in. Mike Krzyzewski says it's time to stop the momentum for Carolina right now.
Well, he's their inside threat. They need him on the floor.
Baseline, Jawan Williams. Rebound, Jack Emanuel. Well, Jack Emanuel does so many little things so well for this North Carolina team.
Well, he really played well defensively in us for tonight. He has really not allowed Redick to get a lot of good looks.
May working over Williams. And the rebound to Duke. Out of the crowd comes Duhan.
Also in transition, North Carolina doing a better job tonight defensively. You don't see many fast break opportunities for Duke.
Roy Williams told his team, as he told us before the game, this is just like any other game. But remember, if you compete, if you defend, you can win. But if not, you've got no chance. Ewing for 3, and Duke's back on top.
There's my guy, Mr. Ewing. Do you believe it's just another game? Give me a break. Give me a break. Are you serious? There's no way you can tell these kids it's just another game.
15 for Daniel Ewing, who's made a big shot after big shot. And Roy Williams is some kind of upset.
You know what? Really, what he was meaning by a statement like that, the same with Mike Krzyzewski. What they mean by that is you have to come to play against everyone. You can't just pour it all out here and then forget the next game. Because think about what they got. They got a day coming up in about 48 hours in Wake Forest at Wake.
Afternoon game.
And an angry Wake team.
And then at Georgia Tech
on Tuesday.
Week, right?
And then weekend they got Maryland over here at ABC.
That foul, Jawan Williams, his second. Look at Sheldon Williams get up in the air. No basket.
You know, we watch Felton and we watch certainly Mr. Duhan. I think of the great point guards in America, the best to me has been Jameer Nelson. He would get my vote as National Player of the Year. Okafor coming on strong, but you got to think also of Devin Harris and Aaron Miles, who I love, is so underrated.
The foul on Raymond Felton, by the way. Here's the stretch Dick was talking about for Carolina. Saturday afternoon, about a 36-hour turnaround till they played Wake, and then Tuesday night at Georgia Tech, and then home Sunday to Maryland. Another 3, this one by Duhan.
As the Duhan stepping up, leadership, experience.
Jawan Williams, no. Follow, yes.
Really attacking the glass.
Jack Emanuel.
He's really aggressive tonight. Very active.
8 points now for Manuel off the bench. Carolina back within a deuce and an eternity still to go in this game.
Will this be one of the classics down the stretch? Stay tuned, baby. #1 here in for a battle.
Sheldon Williams tries to follow the miss. Manuel is fouled by Ewing. David Noel fouled by Ewing.
They get a hole down there. Randy Ewing played in high school with T.J. Ford. Also, Taylor played with him as well.
Taylor, that's right.
Yes, sir. Hey, Texas is quietly putting together some nice numbers. Struggled a little bit early in the year. Duke put the hurt on him. Arizona put the hurt on him.
Dick, already the 7th team foul committed by Duke this half. Ewing's got 3. Williams has 3. Duhan has 3. And David Noel goes to the line for North Carolina. Missed the first 6 games of the season with a thumb injury. They had virtually no depth. He's been a major contributor for them off the bench since coming back.
Well, today's the first day he's got the rubber cast off his right hand. He told me that on his right thumb, it's off. I talked to him before the game. May have been a workhorse on the inside. Noel's a real good contributor off the bench.
And he has tied the game by knocking down a couple of free throws. It's turning into a classic here in Chapel Hill. North Carolina once again back into a tie with Duke at 55. One of the big reasons they've done that in the second half. Jackie Manuel off the bench, Dick, for North Carolina's done it at both ends.
Well, he's really done a great job on a defensive end. He says, no, Mr. Reddick, you're not getting that jumper off. And there he is the second time. Then offensively, hangs around the basket. Does what he does best, score on the inside, as Mike Patrick would say. Hey, you know, North Carolina has lost 3 in a row to Duke as Duke #1. As the last 3 times they played him at a #1, as you look at Reddick's numbers right now, only 6 attempts so far. 28, 23, 17. Whether they win this or not, it's not going to be no 25-pointer tonight.
You can see from the look on Mike Krzyzewski's face, he knows and he knew coming into the game he would have a real battle on his hands here tonight. Reddick's taken only 1 shot in the second half. Keep your eyes on him and how hard Manuel's working, running all around the court with him.
Yeah, he's really in denial. He's beating up the spots, and he's got that great size. See, he gave help. Shouldn't have given help that time, Jackie.
Reddick with a rare miss from beyond the arc, given his numbers recently, but a fresh 35 for Duke.
Your first instinct is to give help to the basketball, and that's what he did in that sequence. And Reddick's got that great ball fake.
Right now, Reddick's got McCants on him, and he gets free, but he misses again.
Starting to hurry the shot a little bit.
He is scoreless in the second half. Carolina can take its first lead of the night. No, its second lead of the night. Had one briefly a couple of minutes ago.
He doesn't normally miss that badly as he did. Psychologically, he's trying to shoot it quickly. He knows they're rotating over. Nice post play inside.
Mismatch. It was Williams on Reddick.
Williams took advantage of the size difference, went on the interior. He started off the year playing so well, then had the concussion, the broken nose.
Here's Reddick. Tries to get Emmanuel in the air and draws the foul.
He's got him right down here. See this right now? He's going to take advantage. He's going to throw right over the top to him. Right over the top. There it is. He pins him on the inside. He seals him. And Reddick's got no shot. Total mismatch, my friend.
6'8" against 6'3". Duke going to the line for the first time here in the second half, and it's Reddick after Jackie Manuel's 3rd foul.
That's like comparing the body of Arnold Schwarzenegger with Danny DeVito's, man. A total mismatch. I got a body by DeVito. My producer,
a little stretched out.
My producer's got a body by Schwarzenegger.
Manuel goes out after the 3rd foul. Probably not for too long, given the way that he's playing. Now, who covers Reddick if you're Roy Williams?
Well, that's a decision they got to make on that floor, but I'm not making that decision. I'm not getting paid millions to do that. I know one thing, we're wasting time with him shooting free throws. Yeah. Why waste any time? Just play. It's automatic. I mean, nothing but nylon. The kid is automatic. He's missed 2 all year.
Earlier this season, set an ACC record with 54 consecutive made free throws.
They want to get the ball inside. They want to get it to May.
We're tied up yet again, this time at 57. Melvin Scott, not there. Rebound Duke.
I would bring the ball inside to May. Get him some touches down in the low box.
Sheldon Williams playing with 3 fouls, so he's got to be a little bit careful.
That's exactly why I would bring it to him.
Dang, that should be a held ball, but I guess the officials say it came loose while he was up in the air. Tough fadeaway.
I tell you, that freshman can make big plays. He plays within the system. A lot of other places, put on a lot of points, but they don't win. You see Humphreys up in Minnesota, who would have been a Dookie, but when they're 0-8 conference play in Minnesota. Hard to believe, because the Big Ten is not vintage Big Ten.
Dang now with 9. Duke back on top by 2. The Blue Devils hit 6 out of 7 in this series.
Get Mason touches.
Felton is fouled on his way to the basket. Don't forget, tomorrow night, it's NBA Friday on ESPN. Magic and the Nets in Game 1. Spurs and the Kings with a matchup that should be on ESPN HD at 10:30 Eastern Time. Tomorrow on ESPN. Meanwhile, major development. 4th foul on the leader, Chris Duhon.
Goes to that sideline when they got three former Dookie guards. Johnny Dawkins, Mr. Wojciechowski, outstanding defensive player. Chris Collins, outstanding shooter. Last year down here, he had a little bit of a battle down here, Mr. Collins.
Yeah, Matt Doherty, then the coach of North Carolina, and Chris Collins had some words and almost a little bit more than that during the game here. And then at the ACC tournament, right? Guys wouldn't shake hands with each other. I mean, this is a real rivalry. There's not a lot of love lost here.
You got to shake hands. You got to give each other a lot of love, man.
Williams working hard. McCants might have gotten him from behind. And a save by Carolina.
They got numbers. They got numbers, baby. Yes, sir. Great play. Go without the ball. The oldest play in the game. Give it up and get it back. Give it up and get it back.
Rashad McCants with the finish and a chance to give Carolina the lead at the line, as all Duhan can do is look on in frustration.
Notice how he gives it up and he gets it right back, uses the left hand on the left-hand side of the court. Fundamentally, they work on that kind of game, the two-man play. Drills for 3-on-2, 2-on-1.
16 points now, Dick, for McCants, who's averaging about 24 a game his last 5 games, and Carolina's got the lead again.
And now they're going to a half-court trap with Duhan out of the game. They need Duhan's leadership on that floor. They'd like to get him in at the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, big minutes here now for Dockery in place of Duhan. Good look for Ewing. What a night he's having.
Hey, now you understand why I love him? Now you understand why I say he's been underrated? He'll make big shots. You can't allow him to be open. Can you imagine that backcourt in high school? No wonder they didn't lose.
Out 2 years in a row, right?
TJ Ford and Ewing together? Wow.
Ewing with 4 threes and 18 points in the game. Quiets the crowd momentarily.
Good entry. Bring it into him.
May settles for the jumper. Rebound Dang.
Should have attacked. They got to understand the situation. Williams has got 3 fouls. Yep. He's not going to want to pick up number 4. Roy knows that. Mr. May's got to be able to understand that. I think a lot of times players have no clue what situations are on the floor. They just play.
Dang took a shot. Play continues. Melvin Scott with a crossover. And McCants will lay it in.
Nice play by Scott to create that opportunity.
And Dang is still down right in front of his own bench. He collided with David Noel. That led to that break. And Dang is still lying flat on his back.
Remember this, Duke, you talk about no bench with North Carolina. Duke plays 7 players, basically.
We'll try to check out Dang's situation when we come back.
Meanwhile.
Well, a good sign for Luol Deng. He's back up on his feet, but will now take a seat on the bench. He's going to come out. He took a shoulder
right
to the jaw from David Noel.
Yeah, right under the jaw. Put him right down. Look at this right here. Can you believe this? He's wide open. He's praying. Get me the ball. Get me the ball. J.J. Redick, the best shooter in America. Look at him. He's dancing. He's doing a John Travolta. He says, get me the rock. Get me the rock. Finally, they get him to him a little too slow, but he kicks it out. Nice play by J.J. to get it over to Ewing for the open jumper.
So Duke right now with Duhan on the bench with 4 fouls and Deng on the bench with the injury. So Shavlik, Randolph, Sean Dockery, big minutes for them now down the stretch.
Well, you know, Duke with that dribble penetration likes to kick the ball back out to the 3-point shooters.
They lay off Dockery. He misses the 3. There's Randolph, who Mike Krzyzewski told us is playing the best he's played ever at Duke, but he misses an easy one there.
Yeah, he didn't go up strong at all. Went up very weak on that one.
How about going up strong there?
What a drive. What a penetrator. Had the big game against Georgia Tech.
Raymond Felton gives North Carolina the lead. They are up by 2.
Everybody loves Raymond, man, in Carolina. I don't blame him. I love him. What talent.
Ewing the floater. A little bit strong. Rebound Duke. Oh, Redick got an open look. And he misses again.
Too quick. He's really taking the shot very quickly, not settling down and squaring his body and getting a normal J.J. Redick jumper because he's aware that they're really coming at him quickly.
A very quiet second half for Redick. Felton on the drive. Tip no good. And McCants with good poise. Felton now for 3.
They need Duhan. They can't wait. They need Duhan. They need experience. They need leadership. The Heels are up 5. Will they beat a number 1? North Carolina's beat 10 number 1s. That's right. Tied with UCLA.
those 10 wins over a #1 team have come at the expense of Duke, as Raymond Felton, not a great outside shooter. It's a monster three to give Carolina its biggest lead of the night.
He is a big-time point guard. Mike Krzyzewski's exact words to us tonight in the locker room. Raymond Felton is a great player.
It's a big shot. Carolina by 5. They were down as many as 12 in the first half, and Mike Krzyzewski can wait no longer. Sheldon Williams with 3 fouls is in the game. Chris Duhon with 4 fouls is in the game. And Luol Deng, who was injured before, is back into the game now for Duke as well. So Mike Krzyzewski says the time is now.
Well, it is really now. Momentum certainly on the side of this North Carolina team. They need a big bucket here.
Redick just not finding the mark here tonight.
Nice pass. Look at that transition there. Nobody runs it better when they are really getting it out. Oh, yes, they feel it, baby. What a transition basketball team. They are like Connecticut and Arizona. I'll see Saturday. You can't allow them to get in the open court. They're so explosive.
Rashad McCants from Raymond Felton. A 9-0 run for the Tar Heels. Deng in trouble. They got Duhon back in the game right now. Felton defending him. Can Redick get hot? Ewing's been carrying them here in the second half.
Carolina really doing a better job defensively, really attacking the perimeter shooters.
Felton loses it.
Give it up. Give it up. Should have come up a little sooner.
Yeah, Redick couldn't get the shot off by the time he got it. Carolina beat Duke here last year, but they've lost 12 of the last 14 in this series. Ewing, a deep three. Tip is good for Sheldon Williams.
Well, Sheldon said if nobody's going to throw it into the post, I'll just go tip it. They have forgotten about that. They're going exclusively for the three. They got to get the ball inside to Mr. Williams, who's so effective on the interior.
Now Roy Williams seeing some things he doesn't like, calls a timeout.
You know, you want to avoid losing streaks in this league. If they lose this game, coming off the loss to Clemson, and now going to play Wake Forest on Saturday, that can lead to trouble.
Just something magical about this rivalry.
In a recent ESPN.com poll, as you look at the continuation of this rivalry, 69% of voters said that this is the best rivalry in college basketball. It's hard to disagree. That guy would vote for it, I know that.
They'd like to get him in a uniform with his versatility when he played in a national championship team with his
his passing ability, he is unquestionably the Blue Devils MVP this season.
See, I would get a speed and roll Williams inside and get him some touches on the interior because they're really coming after the perimeter people.
Dang, way off with that jumper, and Sean May has his 17th rebound of the night.
Shot selection so important, taking the right shot.
Felton commits a turnover.
Right now, Duke breaking down in terms of shot selection. That's a good one.
And a foul is called on May as he crushes Deng to the floor. It'll be just May's second. Good find by Redick.
Yeah, an excellent look by J.J. Redick as they rotated out to him, finding Deng, who took it to the goal, and now you must convert on that free throw line. Former point guard, when he played at West Point, he used to kick it out to his shooter. I'll give you a name a lot of people don't remember by the name of Jim Oxley. Back at West Point, what a shooter he was.
At the line, Luol Deng, 64% free throw shooter on the season.
Right now, when you think about outstanding diaper dandies, you can name the 5 best in America. You got to include the name Deng. Take a look at the leading scorers. The Cants, we're not certainly shocked at all. The leading scorer in the ACC and has been on fire lately in conference play. Mr. Williams effective. I don't think they're getting it inside enough to him, Dan.
Big finish on the way from Chapel Hill. Don't miss it.
Throwdown Thursday will continue in the kennel. Roni Turioff in the Zags getting set to take on Pepperdine. That is coming up next. And could Carolina knock off Duke? Could Stanford be the new #1 team in the land? Certainly doing their part at Maples, up 43-22 on Arizona State. And Arizona's coming in Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC, guys.
Boundaries, Dick Vitale will be out there along with Brent Musburger as part of Saturday's coverage on ABC. What about the Cardinal, #2? As you can see, regional action. Some will get Georgia Tech, Tennessee, others Marquette's and ball. You are pumped to go out to California and see the Cardinal.
Yeah, I really am, but what's about this statistic? It drives me bananas. I can't believe it. Do you know in the last 8 meetings between Arizona and Stanford, the road team has won?
Unbelievable.
That's incredible. The last 8 meetings, the road team has won.
Here the road team Duke, which has led through most of the game, now trailing by 3 inside 4 minutes to play. Carolina trying to knock off the #1 team in the country. And a travel is called on May.
He lifted his pivot foot. He has a little dilemma with that. When he establishes himself, he takes the pivot foot up before he puts the ball to the deck. Now it's so important to understand shot selection, to get the ball in the hands of the right people.
And the ball in the hand of the right guy for Duke, Chris Duhon, as he finds the shooter Reddick, but Reddick has had a cold night. Deng posting inside, 1-point game.
What about Luau Deng in a big plays he's made after being injured? Gets fouled on a drive to the goal, and now moves without the ball and gets a layup.
13 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists tonight for Luau Deng, despite the injury.
Coming off a big game against Georgia Tech.
Rashad McCants, good patience, finds Felton. He's in charge out there.
They got Deng playing McCants right now. And we really challenge, got to communicate on the defensive end. They want to penetrate right now. Yep. They want penetration.
Settles for the 3. Rims out on him. And it goes over to Duke, and now the Blue Devils, Dick, can take the lead.
Well, they did a great job. They do their defensive system is ball pressure, help, and then block shots. Block out is the final phase when you look at Duke's elements in their defensive game.
Duhon on the drive, and Raymond Felton thought he had him clean, but he is called for the foul, and Duhon will go to the line for 2.
The one negative with North Carolina defensively, there is too much dribble penetration that is allowed, not only here tonight, and obviously their commitment here is a lot better in their effort than against some other clubs. In fact, Roy Williams told us if there's one thing he's disappointed about, here it is February, and they just haven't gotten it about making a commitment defensively.
Duhon at the line, as you can see, not a great free throw shooter, but he ties the game with the first.
It's great when you got experience, my friend, when you got a 4-year player that's been part of a winner's mentality, and that's what he brings, Duhon. Because remember, he hasn't played in a scene where the team is taking a lot of beatings. He is understanding what winning is about.
Amongst the starters for these two teams, the only senior, as he rattles home the second, and Duke is back on top. Boy, we had lead change after lead change here in the second half after we didn't have any in the first half.
You know, Duhon's been part of 35-4, 31-4, 26-7. That's a lot of W's, Mr. Schulman.
Throwdown Thursday, presented by Mass Mutual, continuing after us, as you saw, Pepperdine and Gonzaga from the kennel. Good look for Jawan Williams.
They got an 8-0 run right now, Duke, and possession of the basketball. They're very similar to a team we saw the other night. Not in style of play, but understanding how to win. Winner's mentality, Kentucky against Florida.
No panic.
Exactly. They're so poised.
Williams got an open man. It's Ewing who's had a big night. The floater off the glass, no good. And Carolina takes over. Now they can take the lead back.
Oh, baby, #1, 15 in a row, the Dukies. And here they are with North Carolina trying to beat their second team to come here, rated #1 in America. No doubt Roy Williams will build this program back into the days that it was like with Mr. Dean Smith, the Michelangelo of coaching.
Duke up by 1, a minute and a half to go. It was all Duke in the first half, leading by as many as 12 as Carolina missed easy chance after easy chance, a lot of them for May, although May has played well tonight. In the second half, a little bit of a role reversal as Duke struggled from inside.
And a few easy opportunities, but some of those they're really challenged. You know what's really impressive right here in the second half? In this half, North Carolina has not fouled. They've played defense without fouling. In fact, Duke is not in a bonus yet.
6 fouls committed by Carolina with a minute and a half to go. So the next one will send Duke to the line.
That's amazing. They played good, tough defense without fouling for almost 19 minutes. They've really played solid defense.
Mark it on your calendars. Don't make plans. Saturday night, March 6th, Carolina at Duke. 9 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Mike Patrick and Dick Vitale.
Oh, I know where I'll be, baby. Mike's sitting right now on a beach in Hawaii. Here we go now. Defense is important here. Stopping penetration.
8 lead changes here in the second half of this game. McCants trying to make it 9, but a block inside by Sheldon Williams.
And that's one of the great strong suits of Duke this year, blocking shots.
Jawad Williams, no. Rebound, dang, and a foul over the back on Jawad Williams.
I'll tell you, blocking shots has been so incredible this year with Duke. They're going to break a record. The landlord on the inside. He's the landlord, baby. Mr. Williams says, Mr. McCants, get it out of here. I know you're a second-year player like I am. Get it out. Get the tenants out of here. I'm the landlord, baby.
Once blocked 16 shots in a high school game when he was in junior high, but playing with the big guys, he came up with 16 blocks. And this guy's got to be considered among the most improved players in the country this year.
Oh, I would agree with that. He's learning how to stay on the floor and not get himself into foul trouble. He's making free throws down here, down the stretch.
Boy, and all of a sudden, this place is quiet. I mean, there are 20,000 people here wearing Carolina blue, and it is quiet in this building right now.
Well, just remember this. Rashad McCants has been really clutch at the end of the game. He made 2 big threes in the last minute to beat Connecticut, made a big basket to beat North Carolina State.
Carolina trying to knock off number 1. Williams, no. May working hard underneath. Yes!
What a great effort right there by May. Using that big body, using those great strong hands. Comes from a great family about basketball with his dad. Take a look at this, a little flashback. UConn, number 1 in America. There's Jim Calhoun's club. Mr. Okafor, what a talent he is. He's my second choice behind Nelson for National Player of the Year.
Jawad Williams still playing with a face mask at that point because of the broken nose in a big game. And then Rashad McCants, a 3-pointer to tie it and a 3-pointer late to win it.
He wanted to rock. Celebration time. Look at that celebration. Do you think there'd be a celebration if they won tonight? Oh, look at this right here. McCants at 27 in that big W. He's saying, can I have one more 3 tonight? Just one more 3 tonight.
10 times North Carolina has defeated the number 1 team in the nation. 5 of those times it has been Duke. Mike Krzyzewski in his incredible career at Duke is 27 and 28 against North Carolina going back over his 24 years.
You know, that statistic is really deceiving in a way. The one opportunity, you get a chance to play a lot of number 1s when you play Duke.
That's right. Duke with the lead and the ball inside a minute to play. Redick trying to get away from Jackie Manuel. He scores. What a job by Redick.
He was trying to create a foul opportunity and got himself a layup. He was really trying to create a situation to get fouled and attacking the basket. Really a smart basketball play. Really very, very bright. Look at that ball fake, and now he's going to attack the basket, hoping for the bump, hoping for the foul, yet he converts on the drive. He's going to do more of that.
Dick, what a time for Redick to come up with his first field goal of the second half.
He was really, I believe, hoping for the foul. Look at the bench. I mean, they sit there like a board of directors. I mean, that's like the board of directors. Krzyzewski's CEO, chief executive officer. Look at him right now. They all jump and jump. That's the way to go to yelling. Wow.
Duke now up by 3. 38 seconds to go. Each team with a timeout remaining. Carolina full, Duke at 30. Both teams over the limit. The arrow to Carolina. You're Roy Williams. You've got the ball down 3. Quick 2. Look for an open 3. What's the strategy?
Well, you know, there's plenty of time on the clock right now. If you got the easy 2 going into May, take it. You only take the 3 if it's within your offensive concept.
But if you get the easy 2, then you have got to make sure that Redick doesn't touch the ball.
Exactly. You got to deny Redick the basketball. You don't want him on a free throw line. You don't want him on a free throw. Right now, you got to go to dribble penetration, my Felton. Hope there's some help and get it out to McCants. And then get May on the offensive boards. I mean, a typical Duke-North Carolina clash. I've said it time and time again. The best rivalry in all of college sports. I know Michigan, Ohio State is special in football, but this is unique, my friends. What makes a rivalry? What makes a rivalry is competition. It makes for good players, good coaches. You don't have a rivalry if you don't have competition.
Well, these are two of the elite programs that have been for forever and ever. By the way, that last timeout was by Carolina. It's not one timeout for each. It's two for Duke and none remaining for North Carolina. That could be a factor.
Put a little pressure on the ball, make them take some time off the clock.
There comes McCants.
He's the guy that they know is going to plunge.
They close out on him in a hurry.
They really closed out. Good defense. They were aware, obviously, doing a lot of scouting. They know each other's tendencies.
3-second difference between game clock and shot clock. Jawad Williams for the tie.
Jawad Williams with that perimeter shot. He likes the fact he doesn't have that mask on. Now you do. You go for the win. You run it down to the last 3 seconds and hit the offensive boards if there's a missed shot.
And Mike Krzyzewski is going to let him play it.
Watch Williams on the inside with the offensive rebound.
You know, May the rebound. Felt overtime.
We're going nowhere, baby. We can stay here all night. Are you kidding? I can stay here all night. I don't have to be in a Palo Alto until tomorrow, Saturday. We can stay here all day, baby. I don't want to leave. Stay here all day.
Tonight, it's Jawad Williams coming up with a monster 3. Extra overtime on the way.
Just something magical about this rivalry.
Well, I don't think you can say it any better than Mike Patrick said it right there. There is just something magical about this rivalry, and now Jawad Williams has ensured that he will always be a part of the special moments in this rivalry. We're going to overtime here in Chapel Hill. Dan Shulman, Dick Vitale, what makes this rivalry, or a rivalry, so special?
Well, first of all, it involves great coaches. Got a Hall of Famer and a future Hall of Famer. It involves great players. It involves competition. It involves teams nationally rated. It involves the #1 team in America playing right here with 15 in a row. And it involves a school with an incredible tradition here. Winning his coach in the history of basketball worked here, Dean Smith, who was the mentor to Roy Williams. Mike Krzyzewski, a Hall of Famer. I mean, it's got it all. It's got everything. Beautiful uniforms, players graduate. I mean, gorgeous cheerleaders. What else do you want?
Chris Duhon is the only player in the game with 4 fouls. The last time Duke and Carolina went overtime 4 years ago in this building, and Duke won 90-86. Felton with a miss. Rebound, Jawad Williams. Felton will penetrate. Floater, no. And Felton's got it back again.
He kept it alive after the penetration. You can't give a club 4 opportunities.
Boy, Carolina looks like they got some jump right now, although May missed the shot, and no call on Sheldon Williams.
Well, Duke gets a lucky break right there, that there's no score in that possession by North Carolina.
Carolina, a couple offensive rebounds, good ball movement, but they could not capitalize. Chris Duhon trying to find the seam. Instead, he finds Williams, and a foul.
Created by that dribble penetration, which has been a trademark. It's been an unbelievable part of their offensive system for many a year.
Alvin Scott with a foul. They're underway out of the kennel. The Zags with an early 6-0 lead. We're taking you there as soon as this one is done tonight here on ESPN2.
And you stay tuned for that game, because the Zags, to me, are one of the premier teams in America. They only lost 2 games, both to 2 undefeated teams. They lost to St. Joseph's and they lost to Stanford. And against St. Joe's, they were without Mr. Turion.
Ronnie Turion, one of the special players in the country. David Noel into the game. Sean May out of the game for North Carolina. Sheldon Williams had a 14 in the first half, and he continues to pile up the points now for Duke. Sheldon Williams with 22. Duke by 2 early here in overtime.
You know, we're so far up here, you wonder why they went out of the lineup.
There's McCants. Remember, a triple overtime game here in this building earlier this year, Dick, between Wake and Carolina. McCants, boy, was he tough. He's got the whole package offensively. offensively. The jump shot, the post, and the mid-range game.
Yeah, he really does. He covers all 3 points of the game, and he also covers, if you throw with the 4th, the transition game as well.
22 for McCants, and now Ewing is fouled on the drive.
Ewing has really been aggressively offensively here tonight. But take a look right now. McCants is going to show, as my partner said, that medium-range jump shot. A jump shot that doesn't exist in many cases in college basketball.
McCants sometimes, and you don't want this to come across as a negative, and McCants has taken some heat this year, but at times he looks like a guy who can do whatever he wants to out there, and that may be kind of the curse at times of being Rashad McCants, because it's just not that easy.
But, you know, he gets a little passive on the defensive end. He has to really make a little better commitment to there. Offensively, as you said, he's got the full package.
He is a star.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Leading scorer in the ACC. Ewing 1 of 2 from the line. Duke by a point. 19 for Daniel Ewing.
Ewing's got to stop penetration of Felton's great pass on the inside.
And Sheldon Williams with another block.
The landlord responds again in that 3-second area. Thou shalt not enter the lane is his message.
What a game he has had tonight.
What a game here tonight. Unbelievable. Number 1, 15 in a row. Here they are. Lost 5 times out of 12 coming in number 1 against Carolina.
Loses it. Dang finds it and scores. Duke by 3, 17 for Dang.
And that's no accident where he was located on the floor. Good rebound and position. Ends up getting the ball and gets himself the layup. I'm really curious why May is out of the game.
I agree with you.
He's certainly not in foul trouble, and we're in overtime right now.
David Noel went in place of him early in the overtime and has stayed in for the last 2 minutes.
You wonder if it's an injury factor.
There's 2 fouls for May on the night. Shot clock, a real factor. Scott misses about a 28-footer. Not a good possession for North Carolina.
No, not the kind of shot they want right there. As you look at May standing up, I tell you, if I went down on the floor now, I'm spinning across and want to know why he's out.
Sean May trying to get the attention of Roy Williams, trying to get himself back in the game. Knocked out of bounds. It still belongs to Duke with 20 on the shot clock.
He's like saying, Coach, get me in.
Remember me?
He says, okay, you can go back in.
And here comes the big guy, Noel. Goes back out. Andrew Katz down at floor level for us tells us that
he needed a breather.
In his opinion, he needed a little bit of rest. He is a big guy playing a ton of minutes. He's the only legitimate big guy for North Carolina.
Well, he can go rest all he wants tonight after the game.
Ewing, a good look. Rebound McCants
and a silly foul
by Ewing.
That is an absolute silly foul. We have seen Duke tonight make some plays defensively you normally do not see a Mike Krzyzewski team make.
Number 4 on Daniel Ewing. And Rashad McCants to the line for the 1-and-1, a 73% free throw shooter on the season.
I tell you, it's amazing. Both these clubs, they take everybody's big hit because of the great tradition. I love these 2 schools. I love coming here for a game. North Carolina, great state university. I absolutely love it going out of Duke, one of the great private universities in America. And you know, the schools do it the right way. The one thing that always amazed me in Dean Smith's era is that they won, and they won with class, and they also won by going to class.
Good point. McCants makes the first. He can bring them within 1. The 216th meeting between Duke and North Carolina, dating all the way back to 1920. Can Carolina beat a number 1 ranked Duke team for the 6th time?
Well, the 6th time since Mike Krzyzewski is coaching.
1-point lead Duke, 2:06 to go.
The home at the Kennel, Gonzaga, and Pepperdine. We're going to get you out there just as soon as Duke and Carolina are finished. Corey Violet, soft touch along the baseline. Zags up by 9 in the early going. Undefeated Stanford, one of 2 perfect teams in the land, up by 20 at home over Arizona State. As we've mentioned, Arizona's coming in next, guys.
Reese, thank you very much. Duke only beaten once by Purdue back in November, trying to extend their winning streak to 16. The last 54 games Duke and Carolina have met. 27 Duke wins, 27 Carolina wins. 40 minutes not enough to settle it here tonight. But with Duke 7-0 in the ACC and Carolina 3-4 in the ACC, as you can see how even this rivalry has been over the years. You go back through Dean Smith, Mike Krzyzewski, and so forth. But Carolina here at home, Carolina 3-4 in league play. Carolina more road games the rest of the way. I mean, this game means a ton to North Carolina tonight.
Well, we said the same thing with Florida and Kentucky. You got to protect your home turf, especially in this league, because you don't win here in your North Carolina. You're staring at Wake Forest on the road Saturday and then on the road Tuesday to Georgia Tech. So now you're looking at a potential 3-game losing streak.
And a 3-game losing streak would mean a 3-7 mark in the ACC, and that's not something that all these Carolina Blue folks were contemplating before the start of the season.
Well, let me tell you this. They're saying right now, man, don't even think about that, because we're coming out here, we're going to win this. And that's what those kids are thinking, and certainly Duke's thinking about. We're going back to Durham with a W.
It was a late 3 by Jawad Williams that sent the game to overtime. Each team has a timeout remaining. 2 shots the rest of the way on the next foul. Both ways, Duke by 1 and with the arrow and with the ball.
You get an extra timeout during an overtime period. You get one extra timeout.
Good position for Williams. Knocked away by McCants. Reddick for 3. Felton collides with Duhan. No call. Carolina ball.
Reddick had an opportunity. That would have really been a big one, and he knocked that 3 down.
He has not hit any outside shots since the first half. The one bucket in the second half was on a driving layup.
He hasn't had easy opportunities. They really seal it inside.
Manuel couldn't get it inside.
Oh, they missed him. They missed him. He was wide open.
Now Felton finds him. May turned his body to the side. Didn't go up as strong as he sometimes does and couldn't finish.
He tried to seal him off. He was anticipating the block shot. Here it is. Take some time off the clock.
Well, there got to be some tired guys on this floor right now.
Well, these kids play a lot of minutes, man. Sometimes that, you talk about man-shell. I think sometimes it's overrated. These kids can play all day long. The danger is foul trouble, and the danger is injury.
Turnover, and Jackie Manuel wisely is going to slow it down. We're into the final minute of overtime. Carolina down by 1.
Duke with that typical man-to-man defense, pressure on the ball, give help off the ball.
Felton, Jawad Williams out of bounds to Carolina, 15 to shoot.
That was an example again of giving help with the penetration. Get some motion, Roy Williams is saying. Mike Krzyzewski saying tighten it up in the 3-second area. Don't allow that penetration.
Roy Williams going to bring a very good shooter in, Melvin Scott. Good substitution here as Jackie Manuel goes out.
Jackie Manuel has really done a phenomenal job tonight, offensively, but defensively, in really attacking J.J. Reddick. He really has done a great job taking away that perimeter jump shot.
And if Carolina gets the lead, Manuel would come right back in to play some defense. Now Felton, he's got to get something going here in 8 seconds.
They got one of the premier point guards in America with the basketball.
Trying to turn the corner on Ewing. He does. May is stripped. And the shot clock expires.
Great job defensively by Duke in that possession. They've been a defensive dynamite team all year.
Something wrong with Sean May, Dick.
He's the one guy they can't afford to lose. He's their only post presence they have. He's got like cramps. I think he's got cramps. He's hustling on. He's like, there's the deflection. He brought the ball down. He brought it into the. Now look at the hustle. Look at the scrap. Big, strong. Looks like Julius Peppers going after a fumble.
Right. Peppers in the house here tonight. Yeah. May in a lot of pain, and he goes out as David Noel comes in. There he is.
Mr. Peppers, what a year he's had. Also in the house, Jason Cable sitting right to his right. His brother Jeff is a young coach doing a great job at Old Dominion.
It is cramp stick. You're right. The way they're working on it. May, by the way, has tied a career high with 21 rebounds here tonight.
That's an unbelievable effort. 20 rebounds against anybody. This is against Duke, my friends. 21 off the glass. A tremendous performance by May. They're working on him in terms of the cramps.
Keep him hydrated right now to work on him over on the bench.
Look who's going to the free throw line.
Yeah, the wrong guy if you're a Carolina fan.
Oh, you don't want him on the line if you're North Carolina.
Big lead for Gonzaga early over Pepperdine with Messenger there. as soon as this game is done, as arguably, maybe not even arguably, the best free throw shooter in the country.
No, arguably. Come on, buddy. Oh, arguably. Hey, Mike Patrick, that bowl game better be good out there, because what a game my buddies missed out here.
Reddick is 5 for 5 tonight, Dick. 74 for 76 this season.
It's a one-possession game. It's still a one-possession game. You got to match up defensively.
They got some shooters on the floor.
Well, McCants is one guy you got to try to find.
Gets it off. Ties the game.
He's the guy you got to find. He's made clutch shots all year. Just as Jim Calhoun down there in Connecticut. They 2 in the last minute.
27 for McCants. Duhan.
Drive by Duhan.
Here comes Felton. 4 seconds to go.
Can they win it? Oh, what a game. Unbelievable. Duke gets out of here with 16 in a row. A really devastating loss for North Carolina. They got a date with Wake Forest on the road. There's a lot of respect right there. You're looking at a future Hall of Famer and a Hall of Famer. A lot of emotion, passion, an incredible night. Beautiful evening. Lots of great fans here. Look at his drive right to the basket. Nobody gives help. Goes right to the goal. Gets the layup. And now they come back. They defend. Wow, that goes down.
Alvin Scott had a decent look at it, but when it was all said and done, Dick, for the Duke Blue Devils, the leader, the senior, the captain is the guy who won the game for them.
And look how calm he is. Oh, he knows his inside. His wife, Mickey, jumps with joy at home. She said, that's my husband, baby. The reverse layup. I mean, nobody rotated over. Look at Ewing. He's made big plays tonight, baby.
And look at the jubilation for the Duke Blue Devils, who have now won 16 in a row and are 19-1 in the season. Andy Katz is standing by with Chris Duhan.
Chris, take me through that last possession. What did you see in the defense right there?
Felton came up the pressure, and we was actually just trying to get the ball up the court so we can run a play. But I seen they kind of half switched. They didn't talk well, and I just started attacking, and then they just opened up, and thank God I made the layup.
What has made this team so composed in late-game situations?
It has to be our coach. I mean, he has all the faith in us. He just told us to go out there and play. We stopped running plays and just told us had all the confidence in the world for us to make plays. And we just feed off of him.
It's your last time here at the Dean Dome. How does this one rate?
It's the best. I mean, it's an amazing game. I thought we was about to add another 5 more minutes up there. But thank God we didn't, because I'm cramping up right now. But they're an amazing team, and we have one more against them.
Congratulations, Chris. Back to you, Dan.
All right, Andy, thank you very much. North Carolina tied it late in regulation, tied it late in the overtime. Duhan wins it for the Blue Devils.
Well, experience. You got the experienced player, Chris Duhan, making the big play, attacking the basket. Duke leaves here #1 in America, Mr. Schulman.
Duke's won 16 in a row as they win in overtime. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Pepperdine, Gonzaga, Terry Gannon, and Jimmy Dykes take it away.
Side to side, make the defense shift out of alignment a little bit. And we welcome those of you that just watched a great game. Duke and North Carolina, rivalry on Tobacco Road. Duke with the win, but here, rivalry week presented by Cisco Systems continues with a West Coast Conference rivalry. Pepperdine taking on Gonzaga, and to this point, it has been.
Welcome to the Budget Rent-A-Car Halftime Report.
And McCannell, Pepperdine not making many waves in the first half, 50-36. Number 8 Zags with the 14-point lead. Earlier tonight on Throwdown Thursday, the premier rivalry in all of college basketball. Duke and North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Duke rolling in as the #1 team in the land. Roy Williams always faced Duke and Krzyzewski before. This first time, obviously, he's head coach of the Heels. And Duke got off to a terrific early start. Duhan finding Daniel Ewing. Devils up by 11 early. J.J. Redick, bottom. He was only 2 of 9 from behind the arc. Duke lead had been chopped down to 4 in early second half. Rashad McCants following his own and his cut to 2. And then Raymond Felton would go to Juwan Williams.
Raymond Felton, quicker end-to-end than almost any player in the country. I thought his pushing of the ball in the second half was a huge key in North Carolina taking the lead.
And McCants, who dropped 27 on the Devils, gave Carolina its first lead of the night. Luau Dang 17 points on the night. Duke back on top. Here's Felton. Baseline again. Strong using his body. Carolina on top by 2. And then Felton. See the 3. Be the 3. To feel the momentum changing. Carolina had control, it seemed, until Redick went inside, Steve.
Struggled overall from behind the three-point line, but steps up when it's most needed for the big shot.
Did you say step up? How about Jawad Williams? Tied it at 74. We went to overtime. Rashad McCants tied it then at 81 in overtime. And Coach K didn't call timeout.
A key here, Coach K didn't call timeout so that North Carolina couldn't set up their defense. Did the same thing in regulation. Duke didn't get a good shot. The faith that he showed in his team was the difference. Chris Duhon goes all the way, and that ultimately was the game winner as Melvin Scott couldn't get it to go at the end of the ballgame.
Duke goes into Chapel Hill, 83-81 the final. Sheldon Williams had 22, 11 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Sean May, 15 points and 21 rebounds in a losing effort. And the Devils, Mike Krzyzewski, walk in, and they're 8-0 in the ACC.
They play. Both teams played at a level, at an energy level that I'm not sure there's been a game this year anywhere that matched that level. There's just too many great things going on out there. And people, they're playing D, we're playing D, and we can't stop them. They can't stop us. Then you do stop them, and yeah.
Duke is now 5-0 on the road in the ACC. The rest of the league has 6 road wins combined. They are dominating the league again.
Well, they expect to win when they step on the road, and they faced a tremendous challenge from this North Carolina team. You know, North Carolina coming into this ballgame was giving up 51% field goal defense. That's last in the ACC. They've not really been guarding particularly well in ACC games, but in this ballgame, they held Duke to 33% shooting in the second half. North Carolina proved they could guard, but at the end of the ballgame, when Carolina made their surge, Duke showed, I thought, greater maturity at the end of the game, and you have to give a ton of credit to Krzyzewski for sticking with his team, not calling that timeout at the end, even though it didn't work at the end of regulation where they didn't get the shot they wanted. They stuck to their guns, he stuck to his guns, and his team responded.
Yeah, well, as you know better than anyone, he's done that his entire career. Didn't allow the defense to get set in a scattered floor against the North Carolina team that was tired. They have a short bench, fatigue's a factor, and the speed of Duke, obviously late in the game, a critical factor. I also think that Mike Krzyzewski and his staff deserve a lot of credit tonight for attacking North Carolina where they're weak. Jay touched on it. The Tar Heels have struggled defensively. They lack the foot speed. They did not pick their feet up or move their feet defensively to contain dribble penetration. And also they are slow in rotations in terms of help side defense. And that's where Duke continually was able to get inside through shot fakes and dribble penetration inside of the shell of North Carolina. And Jay made a good point. They played better defense tonight, but not good enough.
And the balance Duke showed, getting the ball inside to Sheldon Williams, Luol Deng. Williams had 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 blocks. He was a monster inside when J.J. Redick was held down a little bit by Jackie Manuel and Melvin Scott.
I think that's a great sign, too, the fact that when you look at Redick not having a great night and Duke goes on the road and finds a way to win, that shows that maybe in a tournament game or somewhere down the road, he may be off, but they still can manufacture a win because other people step up. Ewing was big tonight for 19 points, 4 of 9 from behind the three-point line, so that neutralized or offset Redick having an off night.
All right, let's look at the big picture now. Nobody's suggesting that Carolina's not going to make the tournament or anything like that. They're 3-5 in the ACC. They have missed a lot of opportunities at home. They haven't won a road game in the conference yet, and they've got 4 big ones coming up on the road.
They do. They play Georgia Tech and Wake Forest on the road. I think the problem is they're not only 3-5. They've had 5 home games the first round in the ACC. They got to go 5 on the road, and that's going to be very difficult because, as you mentioned, road wins have been hard to find in the ACC.
Well, it sounds like a broken record. Obviously, the most talented starting 5 in the country, North Carolina has. That's why they're capable of beating a UConn or playing Duke into overtime. But either they're going to have to change tempos at time or develop a couple players on the bench to extend the bench and the rotation a little bit because fatigue continues to be a factor. They lose overtime games.
If Carolina had been able to pull this one off, perhaps we would have had a new #1 team when the new poll comes out. Stanford remaining perfect. We'll tell you exactly how they did it and what's on the horizon for the Cardinals when we come back after this.